y'all, it's Michelle from the Scattered Scrapper. Welcome to my channel. Today is day 7 of Thankful and Blessed. It's the last day of this mini-series, and today I'm using another Page Maps sketch, and I'm going to be using this one here. I love the circles and the different patterns you can use. It's got a large title and then maybe a small subtitle here. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or just make that more of an embellishment cluster, but we'll see. I am scrapbooking this picture here that my husband took of me sitting out with the chickens. So I've got some papers picked out and a few more things to the side of me here, so let's get started. For my background, I've picked out this sweet little flower print. I just love these little bitty flowers and the coral and the pinks. And then I went ahead and decided to use just a white piece of cardstock for that next layer. It is a white piece of paper in the sketch, but I did think about using another pattern paper because generally I like to mostly use patterned papers, but I wanted to make sure that these circles stand out, and I'm also going to do some paper layering underneath my photo, and I wanted those to stand out. So just having that plain white I felt was going to be the best way. Now I'm using this very old Creative Memories circle cutting system that I have. These blades are probably 1,000,000 years old. Well, not that old, but they are really old. They're, oh gosh, now that I'm thinking about it, they're probably 20 years old. 19 or 20 years old. And I don't even know if you can still get blades for these cutting, for this particular cutting system. But that last piece of paper there, it cut just fine. But the other two, I kind of struggled with. So it was probably more operator error than the blades being dull. Because I've never been able to cut perfect circles every time with that thing. I always don't have even pressure on the blade as it goes around. So sometimes it kind of hangs on and I have to keep going around and around. But there, I've got those cut out. And now here is where I'm going to start doing some paper layering. But first, of course, my ATG gun runs out of tape, so I've got to fix that. And I get that taken care of. And now this piece of paper is just slightly too small to make one full mat. So what I'm going to end up doing is just piecing it together. The pattern on it is random enough, and the part that you see is small enough that I can just kind of fake it, and you really don't notice it. The pattern is not matching. It is a different little area of the pattern, but it ends up blending together so well that you do not notice it, and I'm really excited about that. Of course, I got it a little bit crooked, so I had to straighten it up, and there you can see that it just looks like a regular photo map. And then this is a leftover piece, and so is this one from when I did a pocket page layout the other day. And I'm not cutting off like the area where the branding strip is. I'm going to go ahead and use it since it's so small. You don't see where the little bit of perforation is. Yeah, perforation, not perspiration, perforation. You don't see that where that is. So I'm not worrying about that. I'm going to use it pretty much as it is. I did trim a little bit of that darker paper up so that I could see more of the little bit of the gingham. And it's just a touch. And I purposefully put them at a slight angle and so I didn't have to worry about it being perfectly straight. And And I think you can see a little bit more of the patterns that way as well. And here I've got my circles, and what I'm going to end up doing is, once I get this moved over a little bit and straightened back up with my ruler, I wanted to make sure that the photo was level. But what I'm going to end up doing is getting the Distress Oxide, oh, what is it called? I can't remember. Does anybody else have a problem with keeping words in their head? Like, if I hadn't have thought about it a minute ago, I'd have remembered. But it is, Gathered Twigs. It's the Gathered Twigs color that I have been using with this collection. And I wanted to have these circles stand out a little bit more. So I went ahead and inked all around them. And I have found that with this collection and some of my other layouts that I've done recently, that I'm really enjoying the inking of everything. Well, not everything. I don't have to ink everything on a page, but things that I really want to stand out and not just kind of disappear into the background, I've been enjoying doing the inking. And as I've been yapping on about inking the edges, I've got my title down. And I decided to title this, I'm a Chicken Tender, because it's me sitting outside in our backyard with my chickens. These are the first chickens that I've had, and I love them so much. They are so cute. They drive me crazy, but I love them. They are so fun to watch. So I will put a chair out there and just sit there and watch them do their crazy little antics, and I just love it. So instead of having a subtitle in that middle circle there, I'm going to just go ahead and build up an embellishment cluster. So I'm looking through the die cuts for something to help me do that. And this picture is, I want to say it's sometime in September, I think is when it was. And in September, down here in Alabama, it still looks like the middle of summer, and oftentimes still feels like the middle of summer. So while my photo is still very green, I'm using this fall collection because, well, I guess meteorologically speaking, it's fall, but astronomically speaking, it's still summer because you don't have the fall solstice until, what, like the 24th or something? I'm not really sure, but it's later in September, and this is probably earlier in September. But that's okay. You still grow pumpkins during the summer for the winter, since they're winter squash. You have to grow them in the summer so that they will harden and keep through the winter. So we could say that there were pumpkins growing, but I don't think I grew any kind of pumpkin or squash for that matter in my garden that year because of the squash vine borers. Oh my gosh, I battle those so much till I've about given up on any kind of squash. But anyways, you're not here for squash vine borer trash talk. You're here for scrapbooking. So here I have decided, I inked the edges of all of the little sprigs and the pumpkins. And now I'm just going to glue them down, and I'm putting down this little vellum piece with the leaves printed on it. And then I'm going to go ahead and use these sprigs with the gold foiling on it. And I really, really liked how I had those flowers arranged. But when I moved them, I completely forgot how I had them on there. And so I end up putting that green flower that is to the right, it was away from the cluster. And I end up putting it down right next to that blue flower. And I'm kind of sad that I did that because I really liked it off to the side to have like a triangle around the pumpkins, but oh well. I mean, it still is a triangle around the pumpkins, but it's not as good as it was in my eye. And now I'm just going to look at this sticker sheet to see if there are any kind of other little bits and bobs that I want to put down. And I decide to put these little flowers into the circles because while the center circle has this really big embellishment, the other two circles don't really have anything. And it's not that I think they need a whole lot. I just want to add just a little to give them a little bit of visual interest. Yeah, visual interest as well. And I did decide to use the stickers of the acorns to fill out that center cluster a little more, as well as these little red berries. And I'm going to find a home for that. And I have it on each side there. And then I'm going to pull out these enamel dots, and I'm going to use 2 different colors and just put a little bitty cluster at each of the flowers. And then the last thing I'm going to do, I bet you know what it is. Yes, it is going to be some splatters with my favorite Distress Mica stain. And this is the deeper gold color, not the bright one. And it just matches so well. And I love them. And I really like how this layout turned out. I think it's really, really cute. I do wish I had some chicken ephemeras or something to stick on there, but oh well. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.